Today?
It's good. It was, spirited. We went a little bit lighter today. It was good. We started to lose our legs a little bit yesterday, so we backed off just a little today. Thought they came out, thought they worked, thought it was a good, intense day again. And, we got some good live work at the end. And it's good to see, you're starting to see guys show up a lot when we go live. And, it's good to see that.
When you get through most of a week, are you starting to figure out people a little bit?
Yeah, you do a little bit. I mean, you see who can handle certain things, and particularly on special teams, there's a lot of moving parts on special teams. You want to see how guys can respond and react to getting put in game type situations on special teams, and then also when we start going live, it's one thing to do it 7-on-7 or 1-on-1 or whatever, but some guys get better when they get in a team situation. Other guys don't, and so it's good to see that.
How did you think Jared and Luke both responded to their interceptions?
Yeah, I thought they, it's the first time Jared's thrown one, so it's he's been pretty good in camp so far, and I think they both bounced back. And the good thing is they'll learn from him, and it's a lot better to throw him now than it is, August 30th.
Trey Watson, those three straight runs for 10 yards, that had to be a little bit encouraging.
Yeah, I like the way our offensive line's playing. I mean, I think they're coming off the ball and playing physical and getting some push, and you can see the weight room and stuff that those guys have done, paying off. I mean, we're just stronger up front and can hold up better, and you have a lot more depth.
Stephen Moore sit out today?
Yeah, he's going to sit out for a couple days. Nothing major. He had a little soreness, and so we're going to sit him for probably today, tomorrow, and then he'll probably be back on Monday.
Are you making any progress with Darius White, or is he still got an arm in a sling?
Yeah, he will be today. I think he'll be practicing tomorrow a little bit, so we anticipate having him back.
How about Avery back to him off a
probably
little
the same
bit?
thing. Probably be on the same program. Probably would expect to have him back in some kind of capacity.
And Avery, you're just kind of taking him slow. It's just
just bringing him along.
The Achilles still. It's nothing new.
No, nothing new. Right. He has a little soreness here and there, but it's nothing don't expect.
Can you talk about Enweri and what he's given you so far in camp?
Yeah, he's shown some flashes. He's just got to be consistent. I mean, that's always the difficult thing for young guys, is just being consistent. And, he's part of that is understanding who he is, and those guys have a lot of success as high school players, and everything happens faster here. And so he's got to understand he's a downhill guy. He's got to run downhill. He's got to attack defenses. He's got to run through tackles. And he's shown an ability to do that at times. He hasn't shown an ability to do it consistently yet. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him.
He's different than what you've had, right?
He's very much different. Yeah, he's different. He's a little bit like the guy we had at Louisiana Tech. Kenneth Dixon was similar. And so, he's kind of about where Kenneth was at this point. We've just got to make sure that he's, that he understands he's got to stick it up in there, and that's going to be his role, is to get his pads low and finish runs. And so, he's got to do that consistently.
You've got like 4 guys that you feel like you can.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
And all a little
Jeffrey
bit different.
Has done a good thing. He's done good things for us as well, and he's looked faster and quicker and been much more consistent. So, I think when you have running back committee, I think that's a good thing, particularly when you're a fast-paced offense. I think it's a good thing. You get fresh backs in there. You get late in drives, start moving the football. Defense gets a little fatigued. You get a fresh guy in there, and all of a sudden he looks really fast.
They're all a little different, but is it important that they can all do a variety of things so that when you put one guy in, the other team doesn't know that's what he's going to do?
Yeah. There's got to be a level of consistency with those guys. I mean, they got to be able to. They've all got to be good receivers. They've all got to be able to block. They've all got to be able to finish runs and do all that stuff. So, they're all going to have different strengths. The idea is to kind of develop them enough where they don't have a lot of weaknesses.
Some of your fans may have a perception that you guys want to throw the ball as much as you did last year, but you didn't do that the last year at La Tech. Can you talk about what your philosophy is on that?
Yeah, we want to run the football. I mean, we want to be a physical, downhill, running football team. I mean, that's what we want to do. And that's why we went out and found a 225-pound running back. Is because we want somebody that can run it downhill, and and there's also a finesse element too, to reading blocks and that kind of thing. But we want to be able to come off the ball and move people and run downhill.
And after 1 week, how confident are you that you're making big strides in that department?
Very confident. I mean, I think that, we're just a lot different mentality-wise. I mean, just a tougher football team right now than we have been. We'll see if we can maintain that right now, but guys are playing tougher in everything. I mean, our drills are more competitive and they're more physical. Certainly when we get in the team situations, it's much more physical. And And so, that's what we got to do. We got to improve in that area, both on offense and defense.
Could Jared wind up throwing the ball less, but be more effective, more efficient?
Oh, you'd hope so. Yeah, you'd hope so. That's the goal. I mean, you want him to be much more efficient, get his completion percentage way up. And what works for us is when you're completing a lot of passes and moving the chains and not having to rely on big plays.
How important is it for your offense to have a north and south guy?
Yeah, it's real important. I mean, it's really important. I mean, that's, we struggled at times last year running the ball, and part of it was up front, part of it was, running east and west too much. Guys not getting downhill, and we had way too many negative run plays. We've got to do a better job of making 3 and 4 yards when we run the ball, and it changes, stay ahead. It changes the way we call plays and what we do, and makes a huge difference in our offense when we can get 3 or 4 yards on first down, get 3 or 4 yards, and move the chains that way.
Hinder hasn't taken a lot of snaps yet, none in the live stuff today. I know you know what he can do already. You're trying to see your freshman. Do you expect that he'll be mixed in a little bit more?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's going to get some reps. We're going to keep him. He's a great kid. I mean, he's a great kid. One of the most valuable guys in our program. I mean, just in terms of his attitude and work ethic and what he brings to this program. I mean, he's incredibly valuable. He's going to get some more reps and see what he can do.
So the battle for the number 2 spot is still kind of open?
Yeah, we're still opening up. Yeah, we just want to see what the young guys can do and where they are, and then we'll make some decisions.
Anything on defense you saw that you liked today? Anybody in particular?
Arthur Wainwright again shows up a lot. Quentin Tartable shows up a lot. Starting to see some young guys do some good things. Noah Westerfield did some nice things today. A guy who's, shown up really the last 2 days is Isaiah Tongalava. Has had a nice interception today and is running around making some plays, and Devontae Downs. So, I mean, all young guys. And so it's encouraging. We're still, you look at our football team and we're still just incredibly young. It blows your mind. You look out there a lot of times and, you have 22 guys out there and 15 or 16 of them are freshmen or sophomores. And so we're still a very, very young football team, but those guys are starting to develop and come on.
Do you have any idea when you'll sort of formulate a depth chart at some point?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing around with one. I mean, we'll probably have a little bit more of one, middle to late part of the week, in terms of starting to narrow it down. And we've got to start preparing, getting 70 together for a travel squad and making sure those guys are on special teams and contributing and we're repping the correct guys. And so that's a management thing that we're always talking about and looking at. And so we go through that stuff really daily, but, a lot of it's changes. Some guys you think can really help you, you find out can't. And then somebody else has to step up, and all of a sudden guys that you think are probably going to redshirt, all of a sudden get in the mix a little bit. So it's a process, and we've got to see the freshmen. A lot of times will come in and look good early, and then start to fade as they wear down a little bit, and you start putting more and more in, and mentally they just can't handle it. So that process is starting to happen with some of those guys, and we'll just see how it plays out.
NCAA made some changes this week involving the Power 5.
Yeah.
I know that all the coaches were asked by ESPN way back when what their thoughts were on scheduling, and I think you were one of the people who at the time said you weren't sure what you thought about that, about scheduling nothing but Power 5 schools.
Right.
Do you have any updated thoughts on that?
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, there's, I've been in one of those schools at Louisiana Tech where we needed to play money games to be able to have a football program. And so we were playing 3 or 4 money games a year, and so I've got some mixed feelings. I mean, college football should be for a lot of people. I see it maybe differently than some people do. I don't see it just about the money. I see it a little bit about the experience for student athletes and fans and that type of thing. And so, if you start not playing those games, then all of a sudden you're going to see people cutting programs, cutting non-revenue sports, all the things that happen as a result. And I'm not sure that's good for college athletics.
Sound like an AD.
Well, I mean, you asked me. So.
No, seriously. But is part of the equation also that before any of that can happen, that each of those 5 power conferences have to agree on how many conference games they're playing?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's got to be some kind of consistency. I mean, that's my issue. I mean, if everybody's playing the same, then fine, let's go. Everybody go play the same. But right now there's some teams have 8 conference games, some have 9, some don't have a championship. I mean, that'd be like the NFL, having the AFC play by one rules and the NFC play by another, and it just doesn't make any sense. And so, whatever gets decided, it needs to be consistent.
That's good. Thanks, Sonny.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you guys.
Having a DH.